A friend of mine and I was planning to grab Gotham Knights on the PC. Problem is, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this game to finally come out with system requirements. And if you heard this past weekend, the requirements finally been released. So let me show you the requirements. So this game right now requires an Intel Core i5-9600K or AMD Ryzen 3600, 8 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti or AMD Radeon GPU that I own in my gaming box is a RX 580. So for me, I have three options. I can flash the card because it's an RX 580, and the 580 and the 590 are very similar. So I can flash the BIOS on my card. I've done this on Macs before. I've never actually done it on a PC, but I can flash the BIOS and just go that route. Or I can with the card that I initially got, because like I just said, the 590 and the 580 are not that much different. Or the traditional use by a new card. So I forgot to mention something about the requirements. This also says this is for 1080-60, which is good, but at low quality. Now the PS5 and the Xbox Series X can run the game at 4K 30. So in a way, the PC route is still the better way to go, but 1080p low 60, that's a scratch. So I'm going to show you a RX 590 right now as I do this video. You can find them. Let's do a buy it now, and let's make sure that we filter out either new, open boxed, or used. We're not trying to get no parts or not working. So we can find RX 590s for around 140. Yeah, that would make it 130. All right, I'm curious. Let me hit the free ship just in case. All right, here we go. So yeah, about anywhere between 120 to 140 for RX 590, and that's used market. Now, I've been eyeing maybe getting a RX 5600 XT or higher, only because there's some other games that I'm interested in. First Descendants, which is also kind of a next-gen title. And even though I can run it on the graphics card I got now, the recommended says basically something like RX 5600. So we're now starting to see that the RX 580 is starting to show its age, and it's starting to become time to upgrade. But if anybody out there knows about PC and hardware right now, AMD is also supposed to announce their new RNDA 3 cards around the end of November. So even though I've been eyeing stuff, I've been trying to wait. And maybe waiting is also the better bet anyway, because there might also be a deal on Gotham Knights around Black Friday that'll make the game even cheaper to pick up and then maybe play it then. I don't know. But that's kind of the situation that I'm in right now. Otherwise, I can just pick up the game right now and see how it runs. And if it runs crappy, then yeah, I'll run out and get a new graphics card. But I'm not just trying to solve my problem. I'm trying to also solve my buddy's problem. So we're going to do used market and new market, because even though I am a guy I'm okay with using used parts, I know him and he's going to want stuff brand new. So first, let's see if we can find him a cheap Ryzen motherboard combo to get him upgraded. Because most likely he can still use his drives. He can still use the RAM, because I'm pretty sure we bought him good RAM that could that would trade over. So the only thing we really need to do is get him a new motherboard, CPU, and GPU. So you already seen one of the GPU suggestions, and I made another one. So 56XT is also around the same price. It's just that it's a 6 gig card, but it's newer tech. Now, my motherboard does not have Express 4.0. My motherboard is Express 3.0. So I'll take like a 10, sometimes 12 frame hit on it. But if it will run the game a lot faster, should be fine. Now, let's also look at the I know all you guys are probably like, why is he looking at AMD cards and not NVIDIA cards? I'm gonna look at NVIDIA card in a sec. So just give me. I'm just showing some of the things that I was looking at. So could get a 57 XT for $8. Trying to keep the price down. That's the main thing. Trying to keep the price down around $200. I know some of you out there have more disposable income to spend, but me and my buddy, we're not in that league. So trying to keep it more disposable. Now, I did build some friends recently, 2 friends. I gave them this card, and this card is probably worth it. Now they got the 6 gig version. This is the 8 gig version, which is even crazy. So let me take the super out. That's the RTX 2060. So the 6, what's bad? You saw earlier the 8 gig was actually a little bit more comparable price to the 6 gig. Yeah, see, that's an 8 gig, and that's a 6 gig. Do better going for the 8 gig. But what a lot of people don't know is this card specifically also has a 12 gig model. Now, a lot of people say, I've seen benches and all that on this card. There are a lot of people say that you don't really see that much of a difference between the 8 and the 12 gig, because most games are okay in 8 gigs, but they also made a good point. We're starting to hit next gen tech. And with next gen tech, let me full screen this so y'all can see this better. With next gen tech, we might actually start passing the 8 gig threshold, but we'll see when it comes with games. So this also has a 12 gig version for about $240. That's counting shipping. Let me hit the free. You know me, I like the free. There's been times that I will pay actual shipping than do the free ship. I'm one of those guys. I do math, and I've seen some people that like try to rip you off on shipping, and I've seen some people that try to rip you off on free ship, and they just put the price into the card. So that might be a very comparable option too. I know a lot of people like the 1660 Super. I like the 2060 because it's a good card. It works. I built 2 computers with it already, and the card solid. I had a friend that he loves playing 2 instances of Eve Online, and that card handles it no problem. And this is the 6 gig version, by the way, just letting you know. So there you go. So could pick up a 1660 6 gigabyte for $150, $50 off. That's not too bad. But I know my friend, and he's gonna want something new. So We're gonna open up a new tag here, and we're gonna go to new egg. So right now, if you're looking for bang of your buck GPU, which I tried to get him to get this card earlier during the year when it was at a good price. I had saw one for like right before everything went back down after the mining thing. I had found a RTX 3050 for like 250 on a deal, but he didn't get it at the time. So the cheapest 3050 with 8 gig graphics is about 300 bucks. Now let's pair that to a RX because AMD's been doing those sales on their newer cards. 6700, if I got it right, 6700 XT. I don't need the XT model, or is it the, or am I thinking about the 6600? I think I'm thinking of the 6600 because 6700 is beefy. That definitely get you 1440p for sure. Not 4K, but definitely 1440p. So I'm thinking 6600. So you could buy 6600 for 230, 240, but you could also get that 2060 12 gig for the same price, give or take. So new card versus used market. So new card, nothing's been done on it. That is a big card, by the way. But I mean, if you're willing to open up that, I know some people don't. A guy that I work with, he didn't like doing it. Open up the card. Ooh, wait, 6600 8 gig for 200 bucks. Yo, that is a good deal. That right there. Hold up. That right there. Can we filter this? I need to get rid of it. Remind me later. I need to get rid of Rakuten. Let's filter this. Wow, 200 bucks. I don't know. New, that might be worth the build for him. Hell, that might be worth the build for me. Even taking the frame hit, 200 bucks. I like to keep my GPUs 200 or lower if I'm buying new. If I'm buying used, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a cheap bastard. 100 bucks or less. But I will pay for something like 150 and all that. I got a guy that I like to go to on Facebook Marketplace, and I get graphics cards from him because he's always selling stuff. He's a former miner, but he's always selling stuff. So, and he gives it to me at a good price. So there you go. If y'all want to know about the guy, hit me up in the DMs in the chat. We'll talk. But yeah, so actually seeing that's really good for the price per dollar and trying to solve this problem for all of that. Okay, where you could get the 65 XT, but that's only 4 gigs. You want, at this point, if you're definitely trying to play something like Gotham Knights, you want to go ahead and have at least 8 gigs. So that's an open box. Okay, it's an open box. So either one or two things. Person didn't like the performance and they bought a newer card, or there was something wrong with it. If there's something wrong with it, we can ship it back and get another one. So whereas in the used market, you're buying it used, you're taking a chance, and if it doesn't work out, I mean, if you do it through eBay would guarantee your money anyway. So there you go. But okay, 200 bucks. Or knowing my buddy, he might actually be willing to pay the actual 40 bucks and go that route. But we need to take care of his CPU and motherboard as well. So let's see if we can find an old Ryzen 3060 3600 combo with a motherboard. All right, so chip by itself used, so CPU only, that means I gotta buy a cooler. This is somebody that has it with a cooler is 135. Uh, I don't know. Even at 135, that's a lot because I could get him what I have in my machine, a Ryzen 5600G at that price. So let's see, Ryzen 5 36 combo. Here we go. So someone is selling Aurora's MTX. That's actually the same motherboard that I am running and that I built two of my friends' machines on. Ryzen 3600, and it comes with RAM. Actually, that's a good deal. Plus the $15 shipping. But still, that's a good deal. I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to do that and solve that. But let's see if we can find something cheaper. All right, here we go. Well, this is a bid. How about let's eliminate bids. All right. So let's do it price, shipping, lowest first. So yeah, we're looking about 200 bucks, 250 to get them upgraded to a new machine. Now there is something that I could do to help him out. Since I have a 56G in here, I originally got it, during pandemic, worried about, hey, yeah, just in case, let me have a integrated graphics GPU. I could buy myself a 56X, give him the 56G, and then all we have to do is get him a new motherboard, take the RAM and all that, and then we're good to go. So that's another solution that we could do, which would be no problem. Now, and that's just at the 36. Now, I'm curious. I know some people do not like that chip, but I'm curious because it's cheap. I could probably get it brand new. 4600G brand new is 119. It's still a 6-core GPU, but can I get it with a combo? No. Now that's actually what he has. So the combo probably not. Now let's see. Ryzen CPU motherboard combo. So let's see what we can get from Newegg. Nothing really. So, okay, this is a B550, which is a good board. I like Asus. I also like Gigabyte. I like those two motherboards. MSI I used to like. Back in the day, I had a old like MSI slash BioStar rig, and it did me well for the longest time. But with the shipping, you see that shipping, 50 bucks? That turns that into a $400 GPU as well. So in this case, he's almost spending 700 bucks just on the new machine. And I with new AMD hardware out, I hate to say it, but with new technology out, if he was gonna go that route, we might as well build him a new machine. So let's see, Ryzen 5 7600. So 7600X is $299, but what about the motherboards? I bet you the motherboards are probably killer. Ryzen Ryzen Zen 4, because we're now on Zen 4 tech, right? Yes. So that is the cheapest one out of that. and it's still showing me Zen 3 stuff. I was like, why are you showing me Zen 3 stuff if I said Zen 4? So cheapest processor, 299, but now I need to see motherboards. So hold on. Ryzen Zen 4 motherboard. And that's not counting DDR5 too, because we'll have to buy. So yeah, we'll have to buy new RAM too. That's the problem. Two, so recently launched. Here we go. That's a $300 motherboard. Wow. Okay. You know what? You know what? This is where we go to PC Part Picker, and I'm gonna see what we can do here. All right. So if we was to go 7600X, let's add that motherboard. I'm pretty sure that CPU comes with a cooler. If not, all right, let's shift the price of it. So the cheapest, literally, that is the cheapest that will fit that board. That cannot be. No, it says DDR5. It's screaming DDR5 and everything. This is the cheapest board. Okay. So cheapest board, even though I'm more of an Asus guy, I kind of be like, let's pay the extra bucks and get Asus, but let's keep it cheap. Let's keep it cheap. So we're gonna add that. Oh, there's a potential warning. And what is the warning? Oh, it does not come with a cooler. So you have to buy a cooler, which I already know the cooler I would recommend. Yep, the Noctua. Be Quiet ones are good too. Let's go with the cheaper Be Quiet. All right, here we go. But now we also got to buy him DDR5 RAM. He doesn't need 32 gigs. He just needs 16. So let's go price. I like Team Group, but we can get this Crucial. It's fine. That is 116. Can we get a pair? You got a pair? I don't want to get a one stick. That's a one stick. How about a pair? Can we do this? DDR5 2x6. Okay. So, oh, I did 216. No. 2 8s. There we go. Now, all right, pair Team Group. That's fine. Add that. He has everything else. Whoa. I don't remember what his PSU is. I don't know if it's 500 watts, 600 watts. Might need to get a upgraded power supply for him. But just looking at this, we're talking $600 just to go the new route too. But you can make up some of that cost by selling some of the parts of the old system. So, in a way, doing the 200 to do the combo is actually better than doing this. But then he has to pay another 200. So $400 in total versus the 588, and he has nuked the latest and greatest versus, hey, you're up to speed, you're not latest and greatest, wait for latest and greatest to come down a bit, but you will be able to play Gotham Knights. I don't know. That is up to him. I'm just doing this because I know this is something I'm gonna have to research anyway, and it helps some of you all out there that might be in the same boat of, hey, what is the better price bang for the buck if you are trying to play Gotham Knights right now? So I am showing you your different options. So yeah. So okay. if he's willing to do the used market route, he'll get extra 16 gigs of RAM. We can sell that because I'm pretty sure he already has 16 gigs of RAM. But yeah, so used market actually right now might be his better bet versus going new. However, there's one other thing I could do. Hold on. Let me go to and you closed it. Okay. Let me reopen it. So, let's go to the build. Let's clear everything. I'm going to go to the chip that I know people don't like. But people just don't like it for like since the 56 and 36 seem to be a little bit better gaming wise. A lot of people don't like this chip, but I'm going to add it. So, as you can see, the 4500 is $100, and that should have a cooler. Now, motherboard. Boom. Do that. Ooh, Gigabyte. Gigabyte is the cheapest. I do like Asus better. Gigabyte is the cheapest. So let's add this Gigabyte. All right. What's the problem? Oh, just need to upgrade the BIOS. So in other words, which he has an older chip. You put an older chip on it, upgrade the BIOS and all that. But let's make it simple for some of you out there that don't feel comfortable doing BIOS and all that. So let's find a motherboard where you don't have to worry about that. So usually the gaming boards, or we can do this MSI. The Tomahawk is normally good too, but we're gonna go cheap route. MSI Pro. I think we could do the Prime, but I think we got to do a newer Prime, but I don't know. I think still has the same problem. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. So back it up. All right. Price per dollar. Let's try the Prime. Might have to go with a 550 versus a 300 series.